Come on,
All
knock them
right.
guts off. Matter of fact, just join my game.
I just joined
um,
Lex's game.
Oh,
he joined the right
I'm
game.
doing
That's fine.
something.
It don't matter.
No, he joined the wrong game.
You bumping your gums. That's what you're doing. All right. Welcome to episode 5 of the weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, whatever, whenever we get around to doing a podcast, Gamerside Chat. This is Corona Edition, episode number 2, but total episode number 5.
Edition.
COVID-19, like Kenneth Copeland would say, COVID-19? I blow the window. That dude's crazy. Yeah, this is episode 5. We appreciate whoever's listening, being along with us. And yeah, no, that Kenneth Copeland boy, that was something wrong with that dude. But I don't want to offend nobody more than normal because
he looked mad in that thing, like
dude,
like
he has
crazy mad.
eyes.
He looking like a psychopath. I'm not
right.
Because he's like,
I know what you're talking about.
Dude, you gotta go to the Instagram chat. I put it in there. It's the little. Now that beat, the dude who remixed the song slaps. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie, but
remix the guy Suede.
I don't know who did it. Somebody else did it, but that joint goes. Was a rapper? It was somebody, but that dude's crazy. Like,
yeah, I'm notoriously bad at keeping up with that kind of shit. It's like in my heart, I don't care. That's the thing. Like deep down in my soul, I know I don't give an absolute fuck.
I enjoy being entertained in various ways. I'm fairly entertained. But, like we were saying, Wade, go ahead and what you were talking about as far as, being taken advantage of by these game people in these secret meetings.
These game developers, I feel like basically nowadays we get half a game and all the DLC and shit they come out with it, they charge you to make more money so you can get a complete story. Maybe not all the time, but I feel like most of the time that's how it is. I feel like it's some sucker shit, to be honest. But I feel like what they do is they go into these fucking writer rooms, right, and they make a fucking story.
The Tyler Perry writer rooms.
Tyler Perry. That's a whole different beast right there, man. I don't know what the fuck they doing there.
That's a one-man writer room. He bouncing ideas off himself. Should I put this in here?
Hey man, that's just Tyler Perry's work ethic, man. That's just his work ethic, man. So
I don't even know what you mean by that.
That's what he said.
He don't care how crappy his movies are, as long as he's producing movies. That's what he considers his work ethic. So that's Tyler Perry. Yeah,
I respect Tyler Perry. I like him. Anyway,
so
I think these writer rooms for these games, they're not doing it solo. It's a fucking team full of people. And I feel like they come up with these stories and they flesh them out and everything. And then they say, wait a minute, let's cut it off right here and sell this, and then we can sell this other part.
Well, I don't know if it's those. It's not the writers that are doing it. It's their marketing team, the people that are supposed to be promoting and selling the game. And of course, they're probably watching the market or something, or the economy, and watching how people play video games. I feel like there's probably like an economic science to it that we just don't know.
Definitely.
And that's why I was like, it's a strategy. It's probably an equation that
I'll tell you
that
this,
they're using.
Working in product development marketing, there's actually definitely a strategy for, of course, attracting more consumers to your product and keeping your product, making it a consumable that basically has people subscribe to your product. Video games didn't have that for a long time unless you had a multiplayer component, but they had to figure out a way to monetize it. Now, Wade, I agree with you to a point where if it's a EA game, Activision game, Ubisoft game.
On the studio.
No, absolutely. No.
Well, I mean,
depending on the publisher,
I feel like this is...
Depending on the publisher. Like CD Projekt Red will give you a whole game. You know what I'm saying? And then certain other studios, smaller studios, was it Sony Santa Monica, a few others, like God of War, whole game. Complete game, nothing. And that's even from a big studio. Well, they're not as big as some of the ones who work for others, but the ones, if they're not under the big publisher, and this is actually documented, the larger publishers, especially EA Activision, have been pushing games as a service for a long time. That's why BioWare went from giving you a 100-hour Dragon Age game or Mass Effect game to figure out ways to get padded on DLC early on, or they had to do. That's why BioWare did Anthem in the first place, which turned out to be awful because they were told to do games as a service. It's less about getting a good product out to your consumers than getting a product that continues to churn in money for your shareholders.
Right. Well, I feel like it's part of it's partly our fault, especially like and it might be just like a generational thing, because I feel like a lot of millennials and people that come behind millennials and all that stuff, like we have a lot of I don't want to say disposable income, but we're willing to, we don't really prioritize where our money goes anymore. And unfortunately, we've given them the green light by buying their products to go ahead and, like Wade said, fuck us over. So that's why I was like, basically, that's why I was like, it's working this way because we told them that it's okay.
Oh, absolutely.
And instead of going out and prioritizing or starting families or buying homes or doing it, or investing money or whatever, we're spending it on video games. And that's why I was like, it's that's why I was like, it's part of the generation, and that's why I was like, it's only going to get worse from here because we've allowed it to happen.
We've kind of grown up as we're the guinea pigs for the digital model, and the Zennials or whatever they want to call them after us are basically born into it. So if you think about, everything's a subscription now. When, for example, when Wade and I lived together, we wanted to watch a movie, we had to go out to FYE or Best Buy, buy the DVD, eventually the Blu-ray or whatever, and have it, and watch it. But now, everything's just streamed straight to your home. You just subscribe to all the content. Video game companies, they had to figure out a way of how we're going to get some of that subscription money. Like, what's the company, Blizzard, who has World of Warcraft? They figured out first when they're like, we're going to charge you monthly for the game. Granted, $15, they gave you a lot, and you knew it, and that money was going to, towards a lot of content and stuff. But they had that model, and then to get console players weren't going to go for that because they're like, we already spent X money on just this console that's basically for just playing games. It's not a computer where you can do so many other things, but we're not going to subscribe to stuff. So now you got to figure out a way to get them to subscribe to content. So that's where your DLC packages come from. That's where your cosmetics come from, all the other stuff. But I actually agree that it's definitely a lot to do with our generation because, our parents are like, what the fuck are y'all doing? Like, why would you do this?
Well, they also didn't have the technology to do.
We don't have the patience
to do what they're doing. Yeah, but that's why I was like, it's patience, but it's also like I want, like you saying, Mark, like I want everything now, and I want it immediately. So I'm willing to pay as much money as it takes to get what I want now.
Like this Final Fantasy could have been much more polished. I'm not gonna. I mean, it could have been a lot.
You think it could have been even more polished than what it was?
Yeah, I do think. I think that we.
I've seen people
as a community, the gaming community, really rushed them to put this out. I mean, it's good, but I do think it could have been better.
Which is crazy.
But Mark, are you willing to wait 25 years to play Final Fantasy VII? That's the question.
Give me this shit right now.
I think if, and this is a little bit of a tangent. This is a little bit of a tangent, but if you think about most games, like think about Ed and I, you and I have been talking about Cyberpunk, and it got pushed back. And instead of being like, oh my god, it got pushed back, we were like, no, if it takes more time for them to get it right, great.
Get it right, because I'm going to be pissed off you released this game and this is shitty and you wasted my time.
But that's what they do with Anthem. That's the problem.
I don't want to die waiting on a game either. So,
there's a balance. There's definitely a balance, but the thing is, one, I think what happens is developers, they have to announce stuff way in advance than they used to. Granted, because you can't be, everyone has to be first. This is just information period. Everyone has to be first. When we were kids, you had to get the EGM magazine, Game Pro or something like that, before you even knew a game was coming out. And by that point, they've been working on it for like a year and a half or so before they even talked about stuff coming out, before they even went to E3. Now, they'll show up to, they'll tell you they're working on a game, and all they have is concept drawings in a minor script. And they'll tell you super early in the process that it's coming, and then knowing it'll actually take 3 years, people either get, impatient and wait for it because, oh man, it was great, I want to play it. But it takes longer and longer because the games are bigger and bigger. If you just don't tell, I understand it's a business, but you gotta be careful just telling people so early in advance that now you've created some deadline and you're trying to move these groups around to meet this deadline that you impose on yourself. Not the consumer, but you impose on yourself, and you get low quality games. That's how you get that Mass Effect Andromeda pushed out because EA decided that they wanted to move people to the Anthem project because that's going to make more money long term. So they took the main people off of Mass Effect and moved them to Anthem. They put the B team basically and put them on Mass Effect Andromeda. Threw a bunch of money at them in a tight timeline.
Money.
Yeah, no, I think it's the money, but it's also the greed of the corporations because there are games that we're not mentioning on the other side that are funded by the community and by fans and are great games. You got Warframe, Path of Exiles, Star Citizens has raised over $300 million, and this game hadn't even come out yet. It still hasn't come out. Yeah.
What's that? Dota 2, free to play, fully supported by community.
Right. But that's why I was like, it's plenty of that out there, but that's why I was like, for most of those games, they require you to have a PC to play them. And that's why I was like, and I feel like there are probably more people playing video games on console nowadays than probably PC, for
Even
some
though
reason.
I think it's just
more
easier
accessible.
for console, though.
It is.
I don't think
easier
PC's
for the
more
consumer.
accessible. I think console's more accessible, though.
That's what I'm saying. The console is more accessible.
PC is more accessible for the creator because they all know Windows and the dev kits. Compared to consoles, like if you want to make a PC game, you don't have to talk to Microsoft to make sure it gets developed properly, and they don't have to. Microsoft doesn't have to send you a dev kit. You can take like a one-man team can make a whole game for PC. You can have a 5-man team, and they can put out games quickly. You got the Steam Greenlight program and all this other stuff. So content creators, PC is actually better for them. But a consumer is way more accessible on console. Absolutely way more accessible. Because it's plug and play. Well, it used to be. It's plug and download and play.
It is plug, it is plug and play.
But it's not.
But still, it's still there. I feel like there's I feel like with society in general, there's probably something askew. I mean, because even I'm just speaking strictly for myself. I mean, I don't know how many games I've bought on Steam and I've never played them. Because it's almost like I'm just, I'm a game collector, but I'm not actually wanting to actually play any of the games or something. I don't know. It's very weird.
It's like people who buy books. They don't read all that shit.
Yeah.
I do that.
I mean,
not
even that. It's just like there's like an oversaturation of the market, and it's almost as if we're being. It's almost like like Wade was saying, like it's almost like as if we're being bamboozled because so much stuff is coming out, and we're not even taking the time to think about how much money we're wasting on on all this stuff.
Like I grew up with Nintendo,
right?
Atari, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis. And it's like nowadays, I just feel like I'm getting fucked, and it's just because I was, hooked on video games. But
you're definitely a kid, and you didn't. How much it cost didn't matter to you because you were a kid.
That's true.
They did it to us as a kid. They just made it number 2.
No, because when I got a Nintendo cartridge game, I felt like that game lasted a long ass time, and they didn't come out with. Dig Dug Part 2, Part 3, Part 4.
You gotta be careful because technology made it way easier to develop certain games, especially stuff like that. And then too, if you actually go back, a lot of our classic games were broken as hell on Nintendo and Genesis and stuff like that. There are a lot of broken games.
They were broken as hell. But here's the thing, like we used to get that as kids when you would have a game like say Super Mario 1 and you have Super Mario 2. I mean, the basic
I
premise
consider
is
that
the
a whole
same.
nother game.
Well, it is because it's Donkey Panda. It's not really Super Mario.
1.5, though. Like,
it's the same damn
we got
story.
another level. Oh, like the princess ain't really get saved. Here's another level to upload, but you got to pay for this. I'm like, what are you talking about? I just beat Bowser and got Princess Peach back. No, but when she went back to the crib, she got kidnapped by Bowser's cousin.
On the way back.
And you gotta pay. Yeah, you gotta pay for this now. I'm like, what?
I mean, honestly, if you think about Mario was a simp, and the Princess Peach wanted to get kidnapped. You know what I'm saying? She wanted to get kidnapped. Matter of fact, she wasn't kidnapped. She just left.
She wasn't into that shit. That was her kink. That was her kink, man. Don't kink shame her, but that's what she was into.
She's like, I'm gonna stick with this plum, and I can have a king with multiple castles. Like, come on.
Or I can get this dragon dick, turtle dick on the side, and act like I'm in danger.
Dragon turtle dick.
He did like a dragon turtle. I don't know what it all was.
Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm fucking wrong.
He was like Mario's version of a platypus. It's like half.
She was taking it.
Yo, let's do this stronghold title base.
I was thinking about that. It says heirs ineligible, but I might be able to force it. So we'll see.
Oh no, it ain't gonna let him. It ain't gonna let him work. He been out of the game for too long. He ain't no shooter no more.
Love and peace, brother. That's what I'm about. I've seen too much war, too much death.
It ain't no shooter no more. I forgot. He just settled down, started a family up here on this division. Look at him. He real like he ain't ran as much. Now look at him.
Man, I haven't changed my uniform or nothing. Same old uniform. I don't even know what's going on anymore in this game.
Oh my god.
For real life. Just read, look at the news.
Not the same
You will know.
What if I'm only saying this because I bought a Nintendo Switch because I was gonna be at work and all that stuff. But I was saying that because what if, I know it's fucked up, but like what if we found out like EA released the coronavirus just to boost video game sales or something? Everybody got to stay inside or something. I'm just saying. Should be fucked up.
Look, listen, that's a better conspiracy theory than this 5G nonsense.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with this 5G stuff. I don't even understand what people are talking about with the 5G stuff.
Dude, the problem was that the 5G, someone basically, I think, want to say someone mentioned that, you know, it can be potentially dangerous. There's some unknown stuff about 5G. Just like anything that's with non-ionizing radiation, people immediately jump to stuff. They're like, oh, it's microwaves and it's dangerous and stuff. And people have been dumb enough to burn down 5G masts, like 5G towers in like the UK and stuff.
What?
But dude, the thing is, here's the problem. One, radiation does not spread viruses, number one, at all. There's
is that what they're saying?
Yes, they are saying that the 5G is causing coronavirus. It's transmitting coronavirus. That's what I'm saying, because someone will pull you. Well, they'll point you to a YouTube video like they always do, and it'll pull you to something like this map, like saying these are all the hot spots for the coronavirus infection, and these are also the same hotspots of where 5G is being launched in certain areas, like New York and stuff, but ignoring the fact that new technology for cell phones is typically released in major metropolitan areas
every time.
But dude, they try to say 4G has something to do with H1N1 and that 3G has something to do with like one of the other bird flu or something. It's ridiculous. It's the dumbest thing.
You know what's crazy though? Because I just found I was kind of reading these two books. I'm gonna finish them one day. But one is called The Death of Expertise, and the other one's called Anti-Intellectualism in America. And it kind of talks about how
send me the links for that. Those sound good.
Okay. It was talking about like the what am I thinking about? Like the process that's happened over time in America, like over the last like 40, 50 years, to where people have stopped listening to experts and just decide to take whatever source they want and believe in. You know, and it's, I don't know, it's crazy because they had a quote from like Isaac Asimov, and at the end of the quote he was like, people feel like their ignorance is just as good as someone else's knowledge. I don't know, and it's just weird, and it's gone from people just not believing other people, you know, not believing, you know, doctors and all this stuff, you know, the scientists, to where people are going out finding, you know, their own information. Okay. And then it goes down to people just being stupid. And then it goes down to people not just being stupid. I'm paraphrasing clearly, and I'm doing a bad job of it. But what I'm trying to say is, it gets to the point where, and you'll even notice it in America, where people are attacking intellectuals for simply being intellectuals, for wanting to go out there to find facts, to wanting to go out there to, you know, to actually find out what is actually going on, and to, I don't know, it's very strange. But that's why I was like, even at work, you know, when I was reading up on the coronavirus, when it was in China and all that stuff, you know, the people at work was like, man, what are you worried about? It's not even real. You know, they're saying all this stuff, and they were actually they were verbally attacking me, not because I was in there arguing with them about anything. We weren't even debating or talking about it. They were simply attacking me because I wanted to find out more information on what was going on. Because I wanted to be informed, they were attacking me. And that's why I was like, that's why I was like, if we're at this point now, where the fuck are we going? You know what I'm saying? Like, Americans are probably by far the dumbest people in the world, and I don't know, man. I just don't.
But we have the biggest sticks, and that's what's important.
Exactly. I don't know. I was listening to Pod Save America, and the guy said something up there like, and we got somebody like Donald Trump in office, and he's on the television telling people, oh, this is not real, it's fake, it's a hoax, and people are eating it up. They're like, man, it's a hoax. The president said it's not real. I can do whatever the fuck I want. And it's just strange. And then the guy said that they said it like this. I just thought it was kind of funny because he was like, Trump feels like he's the smartest person in the world, and then everybody listening to him, and he feels that everyone else is just as dumb as he is. I don't know, man. It was just
yeah, isn't that called
it's just strange.
The Dunning-Hagen syndrome or something? I forget.
I'm not sure.
Dumbass syndrome. Dumbass
it really is.
Syndrome.
And people are always like, Ed, why are you always so upset all the time? I was like, all you gotta do is open your fucking eyes. If I walk out my fucking door.
You're talking about the Dunning-Kruger effect.
Ed, you just gotta put yourself to sleep more,
people
man.
overestimate their own intelligence.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I just don't get it.
You gotta put yourself to sleep more,
But I feel like, that's why I was like, when I talk to people, I'd be like, I'm definitely not, most of the time I like being around people that are smarter than me because I'm learning something, but it's like people nowadays are extremely offended by being by someone being smarter than them or more intelligent or having more information. It's like, what are you offended about? You're supposed to be evolving. You're supposed to get better. You're supposed to want to know more. I just don't understand why you would choose.
Don't wave it in my face.
But here's the thing, though. No, it's like that saying where they say,
leave me alone.
I mean, it's a couple. Think about it. It's a couple competing sayings. Like, one, the smarter you get, the more you realize you don't actually know. Like, the more you learn, the more you realize you don't actually know.
The more you learn, the less I know. Exactly.
On the flip side of that, anyone who thinks they know everything knows nothing. But the problem is that people, especially in this country, are so afraid to admit they don't know something, even though we have the internet, the single largest tunnel for finding new information, for learning. Like, I go down rabbit holes all the time with verified information because I just like learning new stuff. Because shit is interesting. I will do nothing with it, but it's just super interesting. I just like learning stuff.
You're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room.
You're in the wrong fucking place. I tell people that all the time, man.
Right.
All
the fucking time, Richard Dawkins or Stephen Hawking, something like that. If you're the smartest person in here, you might need to go to the next room.
You're in the wrong place.
Being the smartest person should never be a goal because there's an infinite number of things to learn about, and there's always going to be someone who knows more than you in something, right?
Right.
If you're like you said, if you're the smartest person in the room, then what are you competing? I mean, what are you accomplishing now? If you're now the smartest person.
And that's what I fear, because they were talking about I just started these books, but the Death of Expertise, when they were saying that there are no more experts anymore. You know what I mean? And there are just people who think that they know everything. There are just Donald Trumps out there now. That's what's crazy about it. Because back in the day, people were expected to be experts because these are the people that we went to for information, and they were our source. People like Dr. Fauci. You know what I'm saying? And that's what's so crazy about all this shit. And it's like nowadays, like people, I got people that there's a guy at work. He's probably in his 50s, white guy. And he said to me, like, we were just discussing the coronavirus and things that were going on, and he was like, man, I read all this stuff on the news and all this stuff, and I hear this, and I see people are dying, but I still don't believe it's real. I just don't believe it's real. What the fuck are you talking about? I don't I just don't get this shit. And it's like, they even have videos, like CNN was playing videos of Barack Obama talking back in 2014 about a pandemic that could happen and how we should prepare for it. But then you got a stupid. I just don't get it, man. How people can be so goddamn dumb. I just don't fucking understand.
I'll
why things are the way they are.
Here's the thing. Like, one, people feel like being ignorant is easy. Which being ignorant is actually a difficult thing because the less you know, the harder it's for you to do stuff.
Willful ignorance, I feel like, is more difficult than you going out there and just finding the information. I don't know.
Well, the thing is too is that, and this one's wrong. I'm one of the last people to fight against political correctness because there should be a level of decorum of how you communicate with your fellow man. But at the same time, we've gotten to the point where you can't call out stupidity without being attacked. If something is stupid, if something is wrong, you should know. I should not have to hold this person's hand and say, "Hey, what you said is stupid." Oh no, I shouldn't have to coddle anybody. If what you said is dumb, and especially if it's dangerous, then I should say, "Hey, that's stupid," but this is the correct information. Because especially if I know what I'm talking about, but the problem is now you'll have like you can't tell people that what they said was dumb because now you're attacking them. I'm like, no, what you're saying is factually incorrect and it's very dangerous, and you need to stop talking. But you can't do that because you're being mean. Now you're being mean, and
stop being mean.
Like we putting feelings over facts, and that is the worst thing to do. You can't put feelings over facts, man. You think scientists were worried about their colleagues' feelings when they determined how to do the first open heart surgery or discovered penicillin? Like, oh, Jenny might not think this is very nice if I, tell her her research is wrong. No, a scientist will be like, oh, I fucked up here. Thanks for letting me know. Let me make these corrections so we can do it right. I shouldn't have to worry about. So, granted, I'm not saying being an ass to somebody, but you should be able to tell someone if they're wrong. Right. And now it's like they're fighting against being told like that you're incorrect now, or you can't. Oh, it's just someone's opinion. It's just my opinion. People don't understand what opinions are these days, anyway.
No,
you can't tell someone that this opinion is wrong. They're not sharing their opinion. They're stating something incorrect as a fact. It's a completely different thing. Yes, everyone's entitled to their opinion, but they're trying to put off. They're trying to spout facts that are objectively incorrect, and then on the other side, there are people who try to disagree with facts as if they're opinions. Like, dude, that's
what I'm saying.
Or they try to say alternate facts, which is also.
And then it was like, man, I saw a video of like you saw like I don't know, like this dude. Like Trump, like the person asked Trump, he was like, where are your, where you getting this information from, or how are you gonna? Have y'all seen that video? When he's like pointing at him, no, like he's pointing. Yeah, they're like, what are your metrics? They're like, what are your metrics on this? And then Trump points at his fucking head, and he was like, they're up here. And I was like, Jesus Christ, man, like what the, man, you have nothing. Like Trump has nothing up there. I just don't understand how someone like him, like how did society get so fucked up that they voted this motherfucker into office. I just don't get it.
He's loud.
I don't get it.
I like the interview where this dude asked Trump a simple question. He had a fucking meltdown.
And then Trump attacks him.
He was like, in this time of need and hardship, what kind of message of hope do you want to send Americans? He was like, I would tell Americans you're a terrible reporter.
Yeah, I was living at that time. That shit through. Living in that moment was something, man. I'm telling you, that
he got a complete meltdown. I was like,
yo, this shit is so crazy. This shit is so crazy because I got this old dude at work. Of course, you know what he is, but you got this old dude at work who's coming there always telling me like, I'll be in there talking about something. This motherfucker coming, I'm not even talking to this motherfucker, and he'll come in there and be like, man, you shouldn't be watching the news and the media. I was like, man, I go through a shit ton of different sources to find out this to find out information to see if it's actually factual or not. But also what I want to say is it's not as if it's back in the 80s and like the only time we get the news or like back, I don't know, and the only time we get news is in a fucking newspaper. This shit is on video. It's like you can't deny what the fuck is going on. Like what are you talking about? I just don't get it. And then there's another guy, of course, and it might just because we're in the South. I don't know what the fuck this is, but this dude at work, he was still. We weren't even talking about nothing really, but he was like, I don't know. I still like Trump over Obama. Who the fuck are you? Like I just don't. I don't get it, man.
Here's my opinion. I don't even know what this person talking about, but here's my opinion. Anyone who says that and they're spitting in the face of factual information, actual performance, they basically like the fact that he's a loudmouth figure. Bullies people, and basically just does what he wants. That's what they like.
And then every fucking time,
like how they make them feel. They like how Trump makes them feel.
But every fucking time, the only thing they say to me is, he's making the economy better.
No,
what?
No, it's not that.
What? I just don't. This is shit here. I don't consider myself the smartest person at any fucking thing. You see what I'm saying? And this shit is common sense to me. And I just don't. I went to public school education, but you know what I'm saying? I have a college degree. That's okay. Everybody got a fucking college degree. I just don't understand how these motherfuckers, man.
Take your clothes off. You need to open the window and
these people, man. I just don't get what the fuck is going on in society today, man. I just don't understand, man.
Hey, Mark,
I feel the heat coming up.
And the crazy thing, and the crazy shit is, I feel like this shit ain't chess, nigga. This is checkers. You know what I'm saying? Like this is 1 + 1, motherfucker. Like I just don't understand, man. I know, like I could probably go up to Donald Trump right now and any supporter that he had and be like, hey man, hey look, Barack Obama said 1 + 1 is 2. Motherfucker, it's not 2. It's got to be 3.5 because Barack Obama. Like, what are you talking about?
Throw you off. They will agree with you just to throw you off.
No, what I'm saying is like because somebody like Barack Obama who they don't like said the facts, they're going to automatically be contrarian just because they're stupid fucks. I just don't get it, man. I just don't get it, man. And like I'll be at work, man. I'll be at work and I'll be ready to just fuss these motherfuckers out because like it's always somebody there, and the Trump supporters are always debating motherfuckers. Like they're baiting me because they'll be like, I'll be like, because you'll say a fact. They'll be like, yeah, they said Trump doesn't read much, blah blah blah. They're like, how many books do you read, motherfucker? What are you talking about?
Right, I'm not.
What we're talking about is the intelligence level of the motherfucker that you got that's supposed to be leading you somewhere. Look, the thing is like I would like.
Read though. Answer the question.
I just don't.
No,
I just don't
answer
get
the
it.
question. How many books do you read?
No,
oh my god, man! Like this shit just kills me.
Hold on, here's one
shit
thing.
just kills me, bro.
There's actually a clear thing that I point to that. If you understand the backfire effect, right? People have a visceral reaction when stuff they believe.
Double down on everybody,
right?
Not to double down on bias, but they have a visceral reaction when what stuff they firmly and fervently believe in is challenged. Religion and politics are two of the biggest things.
That's supposed to be like core values, though.
Not even that. Because think about it. If you have a certain belief, if someone challenges that, whatever, you should be able to have a discourse with them without deflecting or resorting to insults. A lot of these supporters who try to bring up certain things, like like they just said with the whole book thing and Trump. They're deflecting because they don't have anything of substance to add.
Right.
Nothing. And the thing is, they don't.
So they're trying to throw you off. Yeah, they're trying to throw you off of what we're actually talking about and what's important by saying those things. And that's why now, like, what I do is I simply disengage from the conversation.
Yes,
I've had multiple times, like just this week, where I've walked off away from people. Yeah. I won't say anything. I'll just fucking leave. That's why I was like, that's my right as an adult. If you have the right to be fucking willfully ignorant and a jackass, then I have the right to ignore your stupid fucking ass and walk away from the conversation.
Every time. No, every time. That's the thing. You're absolutely right. Because the thing is, like I said, and we talked this before, I actively disengage from my own, mental health.
Yeah.
Because there's no reason for me to continue to engage with certain people because there's a level of discourse that people are willing to engage in when they want to learn. But when they resort to deflections and insults, you just disengage. But the thing is, like I said, the whole backfire effect, people react a certain way when they're told that what they believe in, especially if it's a strong belief, that what they believe in is incorrect. If you think about, say, with Christianity, if you try to tell them, hell, you don't have to tell them you're wrong, but just tell them you don't agree with them. A lot of people, not all, I don't want anybody to get mad, but not everyone, I'm good, not everyone will, react this way, but a lot of times what happens is if you even hint that you don't automatically believe what they believe, then you're the enemy now. It's not you're someone with a dissenting opinion, you're now their enemy. And they have to, and the thing is, we operate on absolutes and zero sums because, for example, if, say for example, when it was, you could have just been an unaffiliated voter, undecided voter, whatever, in 2016. And you're like, man, I don't know about Trump. And I'm like, oh, you a Hillary supporter? You love Hillary? Like, no, I just don't know if I just don't know if I like Trump. And like, I might have a problem with him. But it's like it's an automatic zero sum. It has to be one way or the other. There's no in betweens, and that shit is wild to me. It's like, how can you operate this way? It's such a binary way to operate. But these again are the same people that believe everything from gender to sex and all that stuff is binary too, because they've been taught that way. And if you tell them what they learned as kids, even though what learning is supposed to be adjusting your beliefs in the presence of new information, if you tell them what they learned back in 1972 about genetics and all other kind of stuff that might be incorrect here in 2020, they'll fight you tooth and nail. Even though you can have all the books, factual evidence, tests, charts, it don't matter. You can have pure information. They don't care because they don't want to believe it, because it is contrary to what they've been taught and what they choose to believe every time. And there's no reason for it to be that way, but people react the way, but especially with politics and religion. You know, and I can understand religion part, because religion is dealing with people's, you know, as far as what the afterlife and what they're going to do pretty much forever. You know, but with politics, it's like, no, you have to be open and willing to communicate, because it's not a game, and it's not anything we can't opt in, you know, be a part of this.
Politics change wildly, and it just depends on climate at the time. Because I mean, fuck, Donald Trump he was a Democrat at one time, wasn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
But he's not. He's not even a. He's not. I don't care what nobody says. He's not even a Republican. He's a Trumpite.
He's not. He's a Trump. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Yeah. Yeah.
He's part of the party of him. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
Like, that's the thing.
Donald Trump will jump to any party that will back him.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter what it is.
If he would have gotten, say, a nomination for the Dem party, he would have ran as a Dem. If anything, he's a corporatist. You know, and a corporatist doesn't have to be Republican or Democrat. It can be one or the other. You know, he could have been, you know, ran independent or something like that. You know, in a lot of ways, it's like he's fully in and of himself, and that's why I just do not understand how people can believe they're for him when it's like he's only for himself. He's not for anyone else but himself.
And he never has been, though.
Never.
He never has been.
There's no reason to think he hasn't. Like, that's the wild part, man.
Yeah, I ain't doing nothing, man. We need to find a new game to play. Like, I don't even feel like I don't even know what it is. Like, I'm not even shooting people. Like, I'm just shooting at them. This is nuts. I don't know what happened. Not that I lost my love for Division. I just don't have any desire to play it right now, I guess.
That's life, man.
Yeah.
That's the planet.
We've been doing a whole lot of it. I need to change my loadout, because I am not doing damage for nothing. This is my skill build. I hate how they kind of change our stuff. Yeah.
Then I don't even know what my talents are anymore. Nothing. So.
What skills am I using?
Right.
Yeah, but basically, based on what we're talking about, man, I don't know. I mean, this is human. I feel like a lot of this is human nature, and I hate to say it, I feel like people have been this way for a long time. The difference is that, you know, a long time ago, we used to throw these people away as conspiracy theorists and stuff like that, and the internet wasn't there for people to spread, you know, their quote-unquote teachings or anything like that. None of that stuff was around. So now, all these people can easily influence others to make stuff, you know, about stuff they actually have no, but they actually have no idea about. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And this one thing, speaking specifically about black people, this is one of the things that makes me so upset, right? Black people have multiple reasons to be distrustful of corporations and the medical industry because of, you know, the way that testing was done on black people in the black community. You know, the fact that it's
like when they were giving black syphilis, when they said that they were giving them like the vaccine or something for the flu, but they were actually injecting them with syphilis.
Yeah. Actually, I think what happened with the Tuskegee experiment was someone may have had it and they told them they were treating them, but they were actually giving them placebos or something like that. It's basically lying to the experiment.
Right.
I mean, we understand what happened with the whole crack epidemic and how that's basically what's done and stuff done to black people. But the thing is, like I said, we have reasons to be distrustful for a lot of that stuff. There's many reasons, especially even today, where there are multiple studies and examples shown of how I'm being white. Yeah, I know. Of how black people are often missed or undiagnosed by doctors because of inherent bias. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. You
know, black women are more likely to have complications or die during childbirth. You know, there's so many things that happen to black people that again, that distrust is warranted. However, how do you take that distrust of these things to automatically say, Yeah, I can't, like I said, these big corporations and big companies, might not be trustworthy and stuff like that. So I'm gonna believe Tyrone and his 13-minute YouTube video based on facts with no sources cited, and the fact that I know this dude got a 39 in science class back in the 7th grade. So I'm gonna automatically believe his video.
Or Dr. Umar Johnson.
Or Dr. Umar Johnson, or I'm gonna believe these dudes.
Oh, y'all ain't shit for that.
I'm gonna believe or and to really make it hot, I'm gonna believe these people who talking about Dr. Sebi say he can cure AIDS and cancer with broccoli, and you just gotta eat right and have an acidic diet like that. So,
hey man, don't do broccoli like that. Don't do broccoli.
But there's no,
it is a superfood. It is a superfood.
Broccoli is delicious, but don't cure cancer. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, they're so ready to believe these stuff because I understand that people have hope and want to believe, but you can't ignore the fact that there's no evidence. The scientific method itself isn't racist. Unfortunately, a lot of people who are racist, but it's not the scientific method. That's all. You have to be able to verify stuff. You have to be able to, you can't just believe a lot of this nonsense wholesale. But that's what's happening, and it hurts my feelings every time when a black person, especially when I know, believe this hornswoggle, this poppycock, this balderdash. Like, they believe this crap. You know what I'm saying?
Balderdash.
Like, just straight believing it's trash. And it's like, dude, I don't. How? And the thing is, too, we were as black people were preyed upon in the 2016 cycle by the election cycle by Russian actors when it came to disinformation. And, there are whole groups now who study disinformation campaigns, right? There's actually a whole, there was a study done with the whole COVID-19 5G hoax thing. There's actually this thing, this group who has to, study disinformation campaigns and look for that kind of stuff, who said this whole hoax, this whole information about COVID-19 and 5G, the whole correlation actually has all the signs of a targeted disinformation campaign. They're not saying it's the Russian specific or who it may be, and they may not know who it is, but they say it has all the signs of a telltale disinformation campaign. But people are just eating it up so much.
Yep.
Eating up quickly. It's like,
eat it up.
It's like, this doesn't even make sense. But they won't. If you don't believe it, they won't listen to anything, any specific information. They've automatically just went ahead and bought into that wholesale, and I just don't understand how they just buy into that so fast when it just came out of nowhere. Like, why are you getting your facts and figures from an internet meme? There are no references to bibliographies. Like, there are no links to any verifiable sources telling you this stuff, and you refuse to acknowledge you don't understand the technology because you think your iPhone 7 is going to give you coronavirus, even though iPhone 7 doesn't even have 5G, and Apple hasn't even put out a 5G device yet. But you're willing to believe, that these 5G towers that are hundreds of miles away from your house are causing coronavirus, even though somebody near you or something like that who did die from it or is sick from it, and they're in the same area, so there's no way it could have been 5G. Like, there's no critical thinking. It's like critical thinking almost isn't allowed, and that shit is just, I don't understand that.
Yep. And if you do, you're attacked for it.
Attacked. If I don't believe your nonsense, automatically you're attacked.
Yep.
That in itself makes no sense.
It doesn't.
It's maddening. I share that anger with you. It's such a maddening thing. It's like, I don't get that. Like, that part of it just doesn't make any sense.
Right.
But again, you can't tell people that they're being stupid without them thinking you being mean, and then people. This pisses me off a lot online. People attack your tone other than your message. If you have a problem with the message, fine, but don't tone police. Don't try to tone police because you don't like, you're not being nice to this person. Why? This person
maybe that's the problem. I mean, society has become really soft, over the past generations anyway. But maybe it's time for somebody to stand up and be mean to these motherfuckers or something. I don't know what else it's gonna take.
That's what people admire.
I blame the gays.
Yeah. There's definitely why some people do like Donald Trump, even though he is loud and wrong. Like, wrong.
He spreads misinformation and talks shit.
And it's getting people killed.
He spreads information, talks shit, gets people killed, frees his friends from prison. This motherfucker's up here doing whatever the fuck he wants. That's what I was like, I mean...
But that's why some people like him, because he does what he
wants. He's a fucking cowboy, man. He's a cowboy.
But he's not doing whatever he wants. And the thing is, like, Congress is, saying that we can't give these people, health care or something. He's like, no, we're going to get these people. He's not doing anything. He's not like some type of maverick, and he's out there fighting for the people or something like that. He's only fighting for himself and his other rich friends.
He's a horrible maverick. He's not for the people.
Yeah,
just a renegade.
Yeah, he's just a piece of shit. Really, that's it. I mean, there's no other way to put it.
Just a piece of shit.
Yeah, that is it. Plain and simple.
No, that's the long and short of it. Like he's fully
most people wouldn't even allow Donald Trump to watch their kids, but they allow him to, be president and tell them what to do or what they should and should not be doing. Even when there are experts. Yeah, even when there are experts on the television, in the news conferences with him, giving out, information that's completely opposite of what Donald Trump says, and people are still not listening to them.
Dude, after Dr. Fauci has said, like, people are like, how can you let this go on while you're like there? He's like, well, I'm going to just push him off stage? Sometimes you'll be like, yes, please.
Yeah.
Granted, you'll be thrown in prison for assaulting the president, but I mean, come on. Like, you can look at him and the Surgeon General's face when Trump was talking, and they're just like, what the fuck? Like, they're just looking at him like, please stop. Like, but the problem is with the whole disinformation thing with Trump, whether it's malicious or not, it's definitely willful. But the thing is, he's spreading information that get people killed. Like that whole thing with chloramine, the malaria vaccine.
Hydrochloroquine? Yeah,
hydrochloroquine. The hydrochloroquine. They're trying to say, they're saying, this is, always like, yeah, this is, we're going to test this.
He went up there and was like, this is a cure.
Yeah, this is a potential cure for it. And people are like, no, it's not. They had to come out and say,
people
please,
was like, no, we're not saying it's secure.
Like the thing is,
he just went out and said this.
The crazy thing about that drug is it's dangerous for the people who need it for malaria. Like, there's a chance you could, like, oh, I don't want to die from malaria, but I can also go blind from this. And there have been no studies or anything to say that this may be effective for the coronavirus.
They've even had cases where I read an article probably I think it was like last week where a couple died because a couple tried to experiment with hydrochloroquine. To fight the COVID.
Trump thin the herd, okay? Let Trump thin the herd.
Here's my problem. I support that Darwinism and thin the herd stuff, but the problem is that a lot of these people who are doing stupid stuff, they're getting too close to people who basically didn't deserve to be harmed in this way. Like, sometimes it's their kids. Come on, man. Sometimes it's their kids, sometimes it's co-workers, whatever, and they're around these people, and they're spreading it to them. If this was like an individual disease, that if you couldn't spread it and you just got sick, fine. Like, you're given the tools to survive, and you want to be an easy, fine. But you're going to make other people sick. People who typically have nothing to do with you, and you're going to make them sick. This dude is pacing
back and forth. Do we kill them? Do we kill people that don't want to listen?
Get my back, Lex. Get my back, Lex.
Say what? I'm trying to. Yeah, I can't do no damage now, dog.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't even really know what's going on.
I'm trying to. This is a level 4. This is FY. I'm getting wrecked. I got him.
This a control point?
Yeah. Oh, see, I got him, but it's such a maddening thing because now in this day and age, it's like, especially what's going on with the coronavirus and everything, people's lives are at stake, and it's society overall. It's not just something like this one disease that affects only this person and maybe a couple of people around them. It's like a person who's ill-informed and decides and gets sick and still decides, oh, I can't actually get sick unless I go around these people, or this person can't actually get sick unless I'm within 6 feet or whatever, or I cough on them, yada yada, or they're going to turn around and spread it to a ton of people. People who, they're going to spread it to that fast food worker who has to be at work. They're going to spread it to the cable guy or to the electrician who has to basically do their job because they're refusing to social distance and won't be safe. They're going, and because they choose not to believe, they're not going to believe the hype, quote unquote.
What's going to be scary is if you have like all the healthcare workers, like the nurses and stuff, because they're already protesting and stuff like that because they don't have enough protective gear to wear. They don't have enough people on staff to handle the influx of people. So like if you have the healthcare workers quit or walk out or whatever, then I feel like everybody's gonna be fucked. That's what's that's what's so crazy about it. That's what I was like, even and not even that, like with the healthcare workers wearing the same mask or whatever. Like I was up in the ICU today, not today, yesterday. I really didn't want to go in there, but like all the healthcare workers and everybody, in that place, has a mask on. They're wearing suits and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. And what happens when they get sick? What happens if they die? Do you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I'm not even sure why. Were we actually talking about that, or I'm not sure where we were going with that.
It's all anybody's ever talking about.
No, it's
like I'm all over the place. It's very exhausting, actually. I feel like I've even cut back on reading about the articles about this stuff. I've cut back on watching the news about it because it's so exhausting. Just thinking about this stuff, and then even having to go to work and all that stuff. I just don't. You don't know what's gonna happen.
You don't. Because a lot of times all it takes for one person to refuse to follow guidelines or even believe it's real to spread that to people. This is one of the reasons I get mad at people who are anti-vaxxers when we have decades of research. Like even somebody like like Royce the 5'9", one of my favorite rappers. I was disappointed when I found out he was an anti-vaxxer. And his reason made me a little. Royce the 5'9".
I didn't know Royce was anti-vaxxer though.
Yes, I was gonna put like. Looking at stuff on,
I'm
looking at stuff on Instagram or whatever, and I'm gonna get my ass up. I'm looking on Instagram. I follow him there, and he's like putting like anti-vax propaganda stuff. And then you have what's his name on, even like Little John, talking about like not to take vaccines or whatever else when he was doing that battle with T-Pain on Instagram. I'm like, how is this real? Like, come on. It's definitely disappointing because like I like to support these dudes, but it's like. You have, they just put in like information. And the thing is, like with the whole anti-vaccine, it's like, the information showing where there's no link to to autism has been put out there. The information's there, like, but they choose to believe this report from one guy that was parroted by what's his name, Jenny McCartney, and they just decided to listen to that. Other than the tons of scientists who come out and said this is bullshit.
Right.
And
but I feel like it goes back to the thing, because I feel like you expect Royce to be smarter than that, but it's also one of them things back, like you always go back to that Dave Chappelle thing where it's like, who gives a fuck about what Royce the 5'9" thinks? You know what I'm saying?
That's
who gives a
shit?
He's not even close to being an expert on any fucking thing except for writing words on a piece of paper and rhyming them together. I wouldn't go to this motherfucker for anything other than to be like, oh, that's a dope rhyme he just put out. Like, I wouldn't go to this motherfucker for like, I mean, I just wouldn't. But then again, like, I don't hold these motherfuckers to any higher standard than I
don't either. But the thing is,
person.
No, for me, it's not holding to a higher standard. It's just being disappointed at someone whose stuff. Like,
did you expect him to be smarter than that? Yeah,
you
be more intelligent, I guess.
You
would hope.
It's akin to how
you always hope.
It's akin to how you felt when you found out that what's his name? Bobby Ray was a flat earther.
Bruh.
yeah, B.O.B., yeah, when you found that shit out, he was canceled, son. Canceled. I mean, only probably like one song he had any goddamn way, but this motherfucker was canceled after that shit. Keep that shit to yourself, nigga. Don't be talking about that shit. Keep it to yourself.
And then he tried to debate
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yeah, Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Oh my god, man.
But that's the thing. Like, I don't. And this gonna sound like a weird explanation. The thing is, I don't feel some kind of way because they're not as smart as I hope. I'm disappointed because I like them and they believe in something so fucking stupid. You know, like
you be like, I wanted to be friends with you, but you dumb as hell. I feel like it's kind of like that. You know, it's like you want to, like you see this person, you're like, you be like, man, we cool. But you say some dumb shit sometimes.
You say some dumb stuff, and the thing is, now I'm worried, is this dumb stuff going to start showing up in your rhymes? You know, it's going to start showing up in your content. Like, it's the same thing when I found out, like, you know, James Brown, great, like a great musician, so like as far as singing, all that kind of stuff. Kind of a piece of shit in real life, and it's probably a good thing that I wasn't born, that I wasn't living right at the time he was young, because he was an awful person. Like, his kids saw him mounting his mother and beating the shit out. You know, Miles Davis, amazing jazz musician, was a terrible abuser.
He was a piece of shit. Miles Davis was a piece of shit.
Piece of shit.
Chuck Berry, what was that guy's name? Not Chuck Berry. What was that guy?
Apparently, Bill Withers, rest in peace, who just died, was abusive to one of his wives.
Man, it's like the only person that you can't be disappointed in is Mr. Rogers. This is the only nigga really living in his neighborhood, not treating people like shit. Well, as far as we know, they couldn't dig up any dirt on him yet, but I guess we'll see.
Man, I feel like they would have, if there was something, they would have found it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But again, like I said, the thing is, it's not a question of like believing that looking at to them as some sort of bashing of information and stuff. Because if they believe certain things are not, it's fine. Like you said, I don't look to them for this information. But when you voluntarily tell me that, wait, you tell me this is a level 4 control point and we getting this garbage? That's not bullshit. But
this is why I stopped playing.
But the thing is, you're volunteering to me now that what sounds like stuff that is easily debunked. That you're not telling me now that either you're not smart enough or you just refuse to believe certain things. And it's like now I gotta wonder, okay, what else? I just look at you weird now because it's like I don't know if well, I can still enjoy his rap.
Guys, I was laughing so hard earlier that I had to pee and I've been holding it, so I'm about to go.
Okay.
I just went.
No, but this kind of this kind of reminds me of when I heard about the story of this kid. His mother was an anti-vaxxer. His family, they were anti-vaxxers or whatever. And they lived out on a farm somewhere, some shit, out in the country. The kid or whatever, he ended up like going through a fence and he cut himself on a rusty nail, and he ended up contracting tetanus or whatever. And he has never had a tetanus shot, so his body started locking up and all that stuff. Either way, long story short, they ended up spending nearly $1 million trying to save this fucking kid's life in the hospital or whatever. And then even after all of this, the mother still decided not to vaccinate her children. Right. So my solution, as fucked up as it might be, okay, so you don't want to vaccinate your children. You're also, and the thing is, like, these people don't think about it. It's like they're also putting society at risk, because they're bringing back things that were, eliminated.
Oh,
like,
Americans don't give a fuck about
measles and all this shit. But, say this is the solution. You bring your kid up there. You tell me you're an anti-vaxxer. Now you get to watch your child die. How do you feel about that? Will that start to change people's minds, or, is that too much?
I mean, no. Like, how can you say, like, we're in a position where there's a ton of preventable stuff,
Right.
A ton of things are preventable. But we're looking at where polio's coming back, measles coming back, mumps. Who has mumps?
Right.
There's actually an outbreak of mumps. I heard that College Charleston had an outbreak of mumps. Yep.
The thing is, like, I hate it for children because, and this one thing, to me, it's like there's a level of selfishness that makes me sick when it comes to a lot of anti-vaxxers because most of them have been vaccinated.
Right.
So they don't have to worry about these diseases. Most of them have been vaccinated. But because of some nonsense that came out, this is linked to autism, whatever, why aren't you autistic? How come no one as an adult got autism from vaccine? But all of a sudden, because of some study came out in the 80s, you were born in the 70s, you were vaccinated against all this stuff, and then all the people around you are vaccinated for all this stuff. How come no one how come they haven't pulled anybody out and put them, if there was an actual group of people who they could show you become autistic from a vaccine, they would have, they would have been all over TV everywhere. Right. Where are they? Where are they? Nowhere.
Right.
They are nowhere. But because of some nonsense that came out from one guy, that when actual other doctors and scientists looked at his work and said, "Hey, your sources are bullshit.
This don't make
Try
no sense."
again," and he couldn't do it, and he actually had to go and recant it and take it back. But people still believe in that because some actor and a couple other people get on TV and are given screen time. Tyrese, or dude, the fact, like, the whole thing started kind of with Jimmy McCartney.
What did Tyrese do?
Yeah.
Oh, I think he pushed the whole anti-vaccine stuff too. But the thing is, it kind of goes back to, like I said, the Dave Chappelle joke. Who gives a fuck about what Ja Rule says? The thing is, the problem was there are a ton of exactly. There are a lot of people who believe what Jenny fucking McCartney said. Which personally, Ja Rule's a bit more credible than Jenny McCartney, but a ton of people who believe what she said when she went on TV and spouting this bullshit, and she even had to go back and take it back. You know what I'm saying? But people are still eating shit.
Why would you say it in the first place?
Right, and why would you believe, or why would you even discuss or have a debate or a conversation with someone like Tyrese when in fake life, in every movie he plays in, he's a jackass, and then in real life, this motherfucker is also a jackass. You know what I'm saying? Like, why would I listen to anything he had to say?
That's a great point, because it's like, why are these people being another perfect example? When they're talking about the whole COVID thing and stuff that's going on. Why did Trump bring up the My Pillow guy to talk about anything?
What? I don't know, man.
The dude who did My Pillow, the guy who runs that company, My Pillow company, I think his company's going to be making masks and stuff like that, which is cool. Yeah, he can be at the little press conference, but why did he give up here and was allowed to give some speech that's basically glorifying Trump and God or whatever else? Why are we listening to these people? Why? Right. Why are these people?
Because he has something nice to say about Trump. Does he have something nice to say about Trump?
Why are people being why are we giving this platform to these celebrities? Like, I already have an issue with the deification and turning celebrities and politicians into demigods. They're just fucked up people like the rest of us. They just either happen to have a talent or they're really good looking that allows them to be on TV stuff. That doesn't mean they're smarter. Oftentimes they're not, because most times they went straight into acting and didn't go into further learning. Don't get me wrong, there are some who are intelligent and everything. I'm not saying all actors and politicians are dumb. But, not all actors are dumb. However, the thing is, like Chappelle said, who cares what some of these people, why are they being brought up in these major times? You know what I'm saying? Kim Kardashian, I'm sure she means well. Her thing, like with prison, when it comes to like prison reform and getting people, trying to get certain people pardoned, she should definitely do that work. But why is she being brought up on an expert panel with people who have gone to school for social sciences and have degrees in this stuff? Why is she brought up in this panel on equal footing? It's one thing to talk to this person if she started the panel to learn from these people. Cool, but when you bring in these uneducated people who are not experts in the field, and it goes back to what you were saying as far as people fighting against experts. When you're bringing up people who are not experts and sitting them on equal ground on an equal platform with people who actually know what the fuck they're talking about, the whole message is lost. The whole message is lost.
Not always, because I will say there are a demographic of people who's going to listen to Kim Kardashian over expert facts.
That's the problem. That's what I'm saying. No, that's what I'm saying. That's the problem.
I know, Lex. I know.
No, you're proving what I'm saying. I agree with you. That's the problem. Right. That is the problem.
She's going to reach a group of people.
I think to support one way to say is that as long as she's at that panel, hopefully she'll bring people into the room who need to hear what the experts are saying. Versus them just being there for her. And her
right. I understand that's how it is currently, but the problem is the fact that we got there in the first place.
Yeah, well,
and plus, it would be different if it's saying, hey, if they were coming out and say, hey, I don't know as much about this stuff, but you should go and follow this person. Hey, I don't know a lot about infectious diseases, but you might want to go listen to Dr. Anthony Fauci or somebody like that.
Well, that's what Kanye West did, and he was like, I'm not an expert in politics, but you should listen to Candace Owens.
But she's not either. That's the problem. She is the worst. She is the worst.
That is true.
But she also should not be listened to.
She is a scammer.
But Kanye West tried to CC Candace Owens, though. Like, you should listen to her. You should go listen to Candace Owens.
Oh, and that's one thing that pissed me off about Killer Mike. Like, Killer Mike is one of my favorite rappers, but he made me so mad because him and I think T.I. had this panel talking about policy and stuff, and burn support, whatever else, and brought her up there, and it's like, dude, and Killer Mike doesn't try to make us look like some sort of political expert, but the fact that anytime someone gives this woman a platform when she's a clear scammer, and people can point to her being basically full of shit, like, when they give her a platform, it just, to me, it invalidates everything you're doing, because you're bringing someone who's a known liar. Like, she's basically, she's a bigot for pay. She says stuff she doesn't believe. She was an anti-Trump liberal for a long time, but figured she could get paid by being a black person who talks shit about black people. She figured that out. You know what I'm saying? And that's basically what happened. And the thing is, like, she basically says clearly false things that can be easily disproven, but people keep putting her up on platforms, keep putting her up in front of people, and it just happens with a ton of people.
But she's pretty and it sells. So what do you want?
Sorry, that was rude.
I'm not saying as far as like for me.
No, some people do. Some people do believe. Some people do believe it.
Like Tommy Loren?
Tommy Loren. No.
This bitch been stupid since birth, and she's still what the fuck, man? Like, I just don't get it.
No, you are correct, dude. You are right. Because
I cannot stand her, dude.
Because the thing is, she was put up by the Blaze, and the thing is, Fox News has had this. She's fixed that Fox News archetype. They take she's had some work done, but they take a essentially pretty blonde woman, tell her what to say. She has no problem saying it because she's getting paid, and then people eat it up. And again, it's going back to like, why is no other expert? Because the thing is, why I often think whenever election cycle comes around for local or city and even federal, why don't we ever have like experts and actual geniuses and people like this running? Because they know they won't win. Because it's it's charisma. It's not
that they won't win. They know better. They know one. It's not about actual ability to do the job.
It's
whether you're liked, and they don't care about being liked because they know the truth does not win you friends. And they know that's not the society that we run ourselves off of. We don't base ourselves off hard facts that we need to hear all the time. No, we just want to like a person. It is all charisma. We just want to like that person. If we like that person, it'll happen.
Think about these exit polls. A lot of times they're like, "Hey, why'd you vote for such and such?" Well, I like what they had to say. I kind of like him. He seems like a good guy.
I like him.
What about their platforms? Well, I really didn't research their platform and stuff like that. But he said a lot of things I liked or whatever. People don't want to do their own research on stuff. It's verified sources.
I agree with some of the things.
Or
I should really read more.
Because the thing is with Trump, again, try not to harp on his name too much, but it's one of those things where you look at a lot of people support him, and it's because of his personality quirks. It has nothing to do with his ability to be president. Because on paper, this man should be nowhere near public office. He's
far away from.
He's qualified.
When that chat box get in there?
Oh, it's in it's buried in the settings menu. But the thing is, things are so built on person. Like, honestly, Trump was equally as qualified to be president as Joe Exotic. They had the same political qualifications.
Well, I mean, there really aren't any actual qualifications to become president.
And that's the scariest thing.
And that's what's so fucking scary about it.
The only thing is you have to be at least 45 years old. That's it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you gotta be a U.S. citizen. You gotta be a U.S. citizen.
You didn't have to hold public office somewhere.
I think it's 35.
Is it 35?
Is it 35? I think it's 35.
Okay. But the thing is, you don't have to have had public office. My thing is, you should have had to be at least in the House. Like, you couldn't have been a mayor.
Something.
You should have had to work on the federal level, period, before you can even run for president.
Right.
You should have be a senator, a governor, a representative, something, or at least made it to the top of the state level.
Or be in some type of diplomatic, leadership. I mean,
ambassador,
something, man. Yeah, something.
Hell, but if he's an independent ambassador to people
not just some guy who got a loan of $1 million from his father. You know what I'm saying? I just don't.
Because people don't care about skill; they care about personality. Ability don't mean shit. I mean, you think about it. It's all about personality, and you also can't be a woman because Hillary
be
Clinton,
a woman. Don't be anything other than white.
Mm-hmm.
And
if you think about Hillary Clinton
was you can't be gay either.
Oh, dude, that's with Pete Buttigieg, man.
Yep.
When Pete Buttigieg was like, I saw multiple videos where they were like, with him, like people like talking about, oh yeah, I support him, stuff like that, and they found he's gay. They're like, he's what? Well, I can't vote for him. I didn't know he was a homosexual. Like, And that shit was really happening. I'm like, that's just gross, man.
Yeah, because Pete Buttigieg, the only thing he had against him, because Pete Buttigieg was white.
Mm-hmm.
He was, he's attractive. He's a handsome man. He had charisma, but he was gay. He could answer the political questions. He could do all that stuff, but he was gay.
Granted, I would have voted for him because he kind of did a shit job as a mayor, especially when it came to black people. But had nothing to do with sexuality.
Yeah,
that's what turned me off of Pete. Not the fact he was gay, but the fact that how he handled that whole.
No, I'm just saying. I'm saying for white America.
No, you're right.
The reason they didn't vote for him was because he was gay.
He was gay. Yeah. Absolutely.
He wasn't a socialist. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I can see him right now. He's up there, he's up giving a speech, like, yeah, that's right, baby. And then some guy comes up and kisses him on the cheek. They're like, who's that? Oh, that's my husband. Yep. You're gay? Yeah. Oh my God, the gay agenda. He's trying to turn it into
Yeah, man. He should have known, though. He should have known. Yeah, who was that gay football player? This motherfucker's career ended when he kissed his husband on on television. This motherfucker's career was over. He's worked hard his whole life to get to the fucking NFL. He gets drafted. He basically has, he all he has to do is sign the contract. And he kisses his husband on national television. And they was like, no.
He came out to his team, so he was co-SEC player of the year.
Yeah,
SEC player.
Right.
And now he's not good enough to make the team. Get the fuck out of here.
That shit is crazy. It's not even that he's not good enough to make the team. They literally just don't want him on the team because they feel like he's going to cause a disruption with the rest of the team. That's
the excuse they were giving because when he finally got on the team, he never made it past. I don't think he made it past the practice squad.
No, I think they traded him. Like another team took him, and then they just dropped him.
Yeah,
they simply just dropped him.
Yeah. Good and
so that's what's crazy. That's what's crazy about it. People's prejudices outweigh everything. Whether it be this guy could have been a franchise player, he could have brought millions to the franchise. It doesn't matter.
Dude, bigotry is an enemy of reason, man. None of it makes sense. It's an enemy of reason.
Yeah, it really is.
Put that in a fortune cookie.
Because think about it. Like Barack Obama had to be excellent, blemish free. He couldn't have no scandal. Dude, they tried to get this was his campaign because there was a picture of him smoking a cigarette. Right. When he was president, Fox News, and a couple other news organizations had connection because he wore a tan suit to a press conference. There was he had to be.
Because his wife had a sleeveless dress.
But they proved over and over that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It only mattered because he was black. They couldn't find out anything else on him to try to get him up out of there. But Donald Trump, think about Barack Obama, good looking guy, in shape, married to one woman, period, has 2 daughters by the same woman, great family unit, zero scandals, you know what I'm saying? College educated, a lawyer, wife's a lawyer, and
wife graduated from 2 colleges, law, Harvard and Stanford.
I think so, yeah. Double Ivy League.
Yeah.
Double Ivy League. Extremely
Ivy League schools.
Both very intelligent. Daughters going to college. Had a dog.
Look how much better he had to be president than Donald Trump. And I was like, and the dude I said that always tries to bait me and all that stuff. This motherfucker was still saying, after I tell him all this stuff, and even point out the facts and put it blatantly in his face, he's still like, well, I still like Trump more than I like Barack Obama. I still think he's a better president. What the fuck are you talking about?
That's why you gotta box him into a corner. Well, one, I would say just don't talk to him. But if you were,
talking to him.
I would if I was trying to antagonize, I'm like, why? Give me a good reason why. And he can't.
Right.
I just, okay. Give me a factual reason why he's better. Give me something based on being a president why he's better.
He made the economy better.
No, he didn't. He actually made it work.
What?
Try how you make the economy better. I mean, because last time I checked, we're in a recession.
Yeah.
The money that stimulus money that the companies got back, that money those companies got back, it didn't go to the employees. They just used to buy back stock. That didn't help the economy.
But anytime I could, like, you ask these guys questions or whatever, that's always their one single answer. I've gotten that answer from multiple different people. They all say the same thing, and that's all they can say. It just doesn't make
must be
sense.
True then, guys. My God.
It's just strange to me, man. They
constantly say it.
It's just strange to me.
In New York, what are you talking about?
I'm at a mission, dude. Let's go.
I don't think this thing is good enough to run a mission. I don't know, man. Like, I don't even know what my...
what mission are you at?
Believe in yourself, champ.
I miss champ.
That was patronizing, Mark. Don't do that. Don't believe
I
that.
do miss champ.
I miss champ.
No, I was talking about... I thought you were saying all to him was calling him champ. No, I do miss champ. Pour out another one for him. That's dope.
And what happened to the demolition class? Did he get messed up or something?
Yeah, no, we're just gonna continue being this whole anti-intellectual period, man. But like we were saying, the whole thing with Obama had to be excellent. He was walking proof of black people having to be twice as good to get half as much. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude had to, run Chicago, all that kind of stuff. Right. And then you have, but people will try to deny it every time. And then you have, y'all want to do this on Challenger?
No, but I was watching this thing today on Netflix.
I would, but I don't want to run Ed off. So.
It's called Ugly Delicious.
I like Ugly Delicious.
It's a show, yeah. But like on the show, they were discussing because they're talking about food in the South and how black people are viewed and stuff, no matter what's going on. And they showed the little clip where the golfer, I forgot his name, something Zeller was talking. It was back in '97 when Tiger Woods had won the championship or something like that. And then they interviewed another golfer, and this guy says he's like, he's gonna win, he's gonna do a good job, and you're gonna come and pat him on the back and say congratulations, and then next year just tell him not to serve any chicken or collard greens or whatever it is they serve. And then the guy they went back to talking to David and the other guy who were discussing this, and the black guy was like, he was like, this is America, and this is in this place, where people be like, racism doesn't exist and all this stuff. He's like, being a black person, he was like, the guy didn't even have to say, he didn't say anything about race or anything like that. But white people have a way of coding their racism nowadays. I just got hit in the back once and I died. Well, they're coding their racism to the point where, basically the guy was saying, you're good at this, you're better than me at this, but you're still a nigger. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's all I was like, that's the way white America sees blacks. That's the way everybody still sees blacks. Blacks are still 3/5 of a person, even though they're better in every other way. Right.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. Because you think about, it's true. Just look at
masks or the kids that got kicked out of Walmart because they were wearing masks. The government ordered people to wear masks in public, and they got kicked out of Walmart for nothing. Racial profiling
because they're black.
Exactly. And then lie about it, and then say there's an ordinance of not wearing masks. That's the part that was like,
you
lied to them.
And that's where, lied to them. Kind of just
putting their lives in danger at the same time.
Yeah, to pick it off of that, that's what, what you and I talked about. Like you wear a shema, which should be fine. And normally anybody else who's not black could wear that, but you automatically look suspicious. Granted, you could go to a number of places and you probably won't get a look, but there are certain people, especially even with law enforcement, they'll look at you and be like, you might be suspicious or whatever. They're more concerned about you being suspicious compared to you being, safe and try not to spread or get to spread to you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You could say, oh yeah, like you said that, Mark said the whole cop who lied about there being an order against masks, and the city had to be like, there's no order. What are you talking about? Right? It shouldn't even go that far when they're just talking about, hey, people wear some masks or at least something covering your mouth. I think it was like Laredo, Texas will fine you like $1,000 if you're out in public outside of your car not wearing a mask. You know what I'm saying? Which again, it's a bit draconian, a bit authoritarian, but dealing with America and Americans, I mean, I hate to say it, but in a pandemic, you might have to use some authority. You got to use some authoritarian tactics. That's the fucked up part.
You have to. Because you're dealing with children. Responsibly speaking, people are children.
Yeah, in and of itself, they will not,
they don't listen.
Stay home on their own accord. And I definitely don't get that. It's like, why won't y'all just, well, I understand what Americans don't believe in sacrificing anything unless it's sacrificing somebody else. You know, you can't get them to sacrifice any of their own entertainment or leisure or anything like that for the greater good. But they'll turn around and, you know, thank soldiers for their sacrifice, you know, because as long as it's not them, they honor sacrifice. As long as they're not the ones who have to do it, you know. And I think a lot of times that kind of reflects itself in political parties a lot of times, where, you know, again, I said, just put out there, I'm unaffiliated. I'm not a Democrat, I'm not a Republican, I'm not a Libertarian, Green Party, none of that. You know, I'm mostly an issues voter, but I also vote what I feel like is for the greater good. When you look at certain things for the party, you can look at clear just separations of what's the actual greater good, right? For different platforms from the two parties. Just look at the major ones, because no one cares about what the third party do, except for like 5 people. But you'll have, you know, just look at like the Trump administration, right? The Trump administration, like, has, I think back in December, rolled back certain guidelines for pork production to reduce the amount of federal oversight. Because like a production line in a factory that handles like butchering pork, they had on a line, there was you had a certain amount of speed. You know, the line could only go but so fast. They removed the speed limits. And then there had to be anywhere from 5 to 7 federal inspectors on each line to be able to inspect the carcasses to make sure that they're safe for eating. That stuff like toenails and hair and certain joints, other stuff is removed that's not part of that cut, right? Now the new guidelines, instead of 5 to 7, it's 1 or 2. It's now like 1 or 2 inspectors, and they're pushing so the companies can self-inspect, but they're not requiring those employees to have federal inspection training. So you're telling them, okay, you want to make them more self-sufficient, but you're not requiring them being trained on the federal mandates. Who does that benefit? That doesn't benefit the public at all. That's not for the public's benefit. That's for the company, so they can make more money, because they're going to waste less pork, and they're going to be able to get more out the door faster to sell it to people. You know, there are some people there are like signed affidavits for like 6 federal inspectors who are like, this is a terrible idea. We shouldn't be doing this. And there are a couple people, I don't think they work for Smithfield, but they work for one of the plants that was a pilot to have this out there. They work for them, was like, I would never eat the meat that's coming from our factory because of these guidelines, because of the lax inspections. Now,
it's that Joe Exotic meat.
Like, the thing is, who is
the Walmart,
who benefits?
Walmart trash can.
That's it.
But that's the question. Who is benefiting from that? It's not the masses, not the people. That's not. They didn't do that for the people. They did that for the corporation, so the company can make more money. You know, these tax breaks for companies, that's not done for the people, for the masses, for the employees. That's done for the companies, for the very top. I mean, the Supreme Court ruled. Damn, they gave me another quiet war. The Supreme Court basically ruled that corporations should be considered as people when it comes to taxation purposes. That doesn't benefit the American people at all.
Nope.
I mean, we're basically in an oligarchy, and that's essentially for the ruling class of people, the rich, in a way, you know. But you can't change things because people with their inherent biases and the fact they prefer feelings over facts and they vote against their own interests, we're not going to get past that. We're never going to be able to get past that because, and I'm not going to say every Republican's terrible, every Republican's that way, but it's clear things when you have stuff like the Trump administration who clearly do things for corporate interests and not for the American interests, but people will still vote for them. But at the same time, you can look at it too, like a lot of
it's rogue agents, y'all. It's rogue agents.
Ah, shit.
Oh man, I'm on fire already.
Yeah, the thing is, and it's always 4 of them. Ow.
I wonder if I can jump back over this.
Yeah. You really come back?
Yo,
nope.
What the fuck is killing me?
Their skills?
Yeah, they're the rogue agent and that joke.
Ah, shit, dude, hold up on us.
We can't even jump back over, can we?
Ah, shit, I'm down.
This is bullshit right here, man.
Yeah, these rogue agents are too strong, man.
Yeah, especially not for us to be trying to hold them off right here.
Yeah, but like this space is bad because we can't funnel them back to anywhere.
Yeah, this part's bad. I killed a bunch of them before, though.
Well,
Just a bad.
Oh my God, why are you up here, bro?
I'm down there.
Jesus Christ. I'm dead.
I was gonna wait for what?
So when we start over, they won't be here anymore.
Right. But the thing is, you don't get anything good for killing them either. The last time we killed them, we didn't get nothing good. So why?
The last ones I killed, I got some god roll stuff, but I mean it was like god rolls on crappy guns, so it didn't really matter.
Now they're talking about like the food industries and all that stuff, or like the farmers, people that pick the food and all that stuff. You know, how is that going to affect us? You know, because they can't go to work anymore because they're sick and all that stuff. Then what happens? That's my question.
Yeah. But the thing is, people don't think about that kind of stuff because the problem with the American exceptionalism, I feel like American culture in general, it's too individualistic. You know, gone are the days of considering your fellow man. You know, like think about what's one of the first things that a lot of people say when it comes to talking about socialized healthcare or free healthcare or talk to everybody. Why should I pay for it? Yeah, why should I pay for somebody to be healthy? Why should I pay for anybody else to be able to get an education? Why should, you know, like, why not?
For the betterment of society.
It's proven
that would be why.
Yeah, I mean, they fight against what they call entitlements. Like that's one of the reasons, you know, stuff like welfare stuff is called entitlements in the first place. But they fight against that stuff because they feel like they're paying for somebody to get over, even though. Like welfare is like not even a nickel on a dollar of what you're actually paying in taxes. You know what I'm saying? But no one wants to pay for anybody else. Even though,
to be honest, I feel like if there's one thing that you know we should pay for as a society, it should be education. It should be education.
It should be education.
Hell, I say health education, but absolutely education. I definitely agree. I absolutely agree. Yo, how's that dude running with all that gear on? That's wild.
Oh, he got that good cardio.
I didn't get like that. You know
what that Cain Velasquez cardio.
Yeah. But no, it makes sure like a better educated society is typically healthier, and you know the work
and more educated. I mean, I feel like that's just come on, man.
But that goes back to, you know, people fighting against experts and stuff like that, and not admit when they don't know stuff, things along those lines. But if you think about, you know, I mean, that's definitely a compounded problem because consider like what's called have you guys ever heard of the glass floor?
The glass floor, nah.
Yeah, so you know the glass ceiling, you know, where people basically seem to have like there's an upper limit on how far somebody can go, right? The glass floor is what's considered like when it comes to entitlement and like say children of the rich who are, you know, put in this position whether it's in Ivy schools or end up on these boards or corporations or that, basically because of who their parents were, like who their daddy is or mom is, like their parent donated to this school, whatever. And what's happening is that because of the money, they're not able to essentially fail, right? They're not allowed to fail, and because they're not allowed to fail, when they can't fail, they don't get up out the way of people who are actually qualified to be in that position. You know, and so because that floor is there, you lose out. Yeah, absolutely, nepotism and crony capitalism. You lose out on the ability for, you know, the experts, the real experts, to actually be in that field. Because say, for example, some dude who's a venture capitalist has a ton of money, make sure his kids in the best schools, stuff like that. These, like, education, unfortunately, is a bit of a finite resource because there's only so many seats in certain places, and our education system isn't the best. When because of entitlement, not because of skill, but because of entitlement, that kid was able to get into some program like Yale or wherever it is not meant to be, is now occupying a seat that was actually being held by that straight A student who just didn't have the same financial, you know, come up, who wasn't, I guess, didn't win the financial lottery and wasn't, you know, able to afford to get in that school and won't be able to get the same education, right? So now when it comes to these people ending up in business, especially on the boards of different businesses and stuff, a lot of times what'll happen is that you lose out on added skill coming to you lose out on added skill coming into these fields because it's being clogged up by the mediocre, you know. And I'm not saying all rich kids and stuff are unable to contribute or aren't worthy. That's not what I'm saying at all. But a lot of times they're being propped out, being allowed to fail, and they're in the way of the actual people who would be the experts on that field. And it's causing a dilution of expertise and ability for a lot of these companies. And that's why a lot of these companies end up in a lot of trouble with a lot of stuff, you know, by just trying to get stuff done, because the people who are running stuff are pretty much aren't necessarily fully inept, but they're not qualified to be in those positions, you know. Because the thing is, they weren't good enough to be actually be there. So, but they'll sit there, shit, I'm down. They'll turn around and, you know, people will swear up and down the United States is a meritocracy and should be that, but it's not.
You know,
it's not.
Like, they'll try to say, oh yeah, you know, it's the meritocracy and stuff, and it should be the best and the brightest. Yes, it should be the best and brightest, but you know what the problem is? Nepotism, the cronyism, and then you have, why did you put it down? I'm down. But nepotism, cronyism, and then you have, discrimination at the same time. Because if the best person for this particular job might have been a black man or a woman, but because they're a black man or a black woman, they're not going to be here because they're being discriminated. You know, this person who could be the best person for this thing may be a gay person, but because I don't want the gays around, then we'll never find out because they're not allowed to be in that position. You know.
Yeah, get them out. No gays. Get them out.
I'm down.
Like, also, yeah,
what the fuck? What the hell? Okay, yeah, I'm here, but shit.
Oh, sorry, I didn't know you was in here.
Oh, I didn't know you came in. I thought you still playing Final Fantasy.
I was gonna surprise you guys by showing up to the party, but god damn, what the fuck did y'all put me in? What the fuck y'all doing?
Welcome to the jungle.
I feel like arcade man, this kind of reminds me like that Ninja Turtle game, that 4-player arcade one.
Oh
that Mark just put his quarters in the machine.
And just showed up.
He just showed up. Like your body was still blinking when you came in and shit. That joke was funny.
Showed up at the very end. Yeah. I don't know, man. I'll argue that.
9-to-5 play?
I'll argue that the U.S. isn't a real capitalist society anyway. We're fake capitalism because we don't allow companies to fail.
Right.
This is Indian venture capitalism.
We don't allow companies
to fail. Capitalism is survival of the fittest. If a company fails, it fails. But we bail out companies, and we bail out Wall Street over and over again.
Yep. And we bail out big companies who have effect on our economy.
Yep. But the problem is like if some of these are allowed, if they're essentially allowed to fail, you know.
Also, why aren't they bailing out USPS?
Yeah, USPS
because here's why I think they're not. Is because they've been wanting to privatize the postal service for so long.
No,
so if you
honestly,
just create a situation,
it's not a federal company; it's just subsidized by the federal government.
But if you create a situation to where you just make the postal service not viable, then you can that just sets up one of these companies to be the primary outsourcing of mail. We just pay this one company to handle all this. It comes a government contract, and it's all on them to maintain or whatever. But it's not a federal funded program anymore.
But that's kind of how the USPS is today. They're just subsidized by the government, but they're technically an independent entity. You know, they're kind of unique because you know they operate like a government company, but they're not actually a arm of the government. The thing is, you know, the USPS was in trouble a few years ago, right? You know, financially, they had some financial troubles, and we were it was the same exercise. And they try to, you know, say, oh, well, UPS or FedEx or whoever could just take over and be able to do that. And they modeled it out saying, no, they couldn't do this. The problem is that because unless you give USPS or FedEx the same subsidies, they cannot deliver mail as cheaply as USPS does. There's no way for them to do it. USPS, and plus the USPS helps deliver stuff for FedEx and UPS because they can't make money by delivering everywhere. So they will oftentimes, like say, if they had to deliver to a small town, they'll deliver to a local post office. The post office will deliver that package for you. You know, that's why if you order something from Amazon and it says delivered by FedEx via the postal service, so you might actually you get a FedEx label package, but USPS gives it to you.
Right.
You know, FedEx can't do that model without massive government subsidy, and then you're just back in the same thing. You know, if FedEx doesn't like people,
but you don't have those employees that you're in charge of, though. That's the thing.
What do you mean?
Well, if they, let's say they subsidize, as far as my understanding goes, let's say they subsidize postal service. All those people, all those pensions that they would be on the hook for, they're no longer on the hook for. For my understanding, it's now this company that they have now worked with. They would be in charge of taking care of their retirement, health benefits, all that stuff, not the U.S. government.
Right.
Oh
my God. But they're probably still subsidized. They're probably still subsidized in the same way, because again, there's no way for them to do it and maintain their profit model, especially since they're publicly traded. You know, there's no way they're going to be able to do that. Yeah, people keep saying if you're
so the government doesn't want to.
UPS to just do it.
All the money they're paying out for it, they don't want to deal with it anymore.
Yeah, they don't want to.
Yeah.
I would also like to say, for the record, when I actually turned this game on, I did not apply to be joined in this group. It's almost like this game knew I don't play with anybody else but y'all. Seriously, I was like laying on my back on my bed talking to y'all on my phone, and next thing you know, my controller's just rumbling and going off, and I'm being shot at. So.
It knew we needed your help.
It knew it. It said, "Look, this is where you need to go. This is where you need to be. Here you go." I thought that shit was crazy. I'm like,
yeah, it's like,
you in the actual military now, Mark.
No choice was made.
No choice.
You've been deployed here. You've been deployed here. Just
no choice. They were like, Commander, I just had a baby. Don't give a fuck.
Here's where you're gonna go.
Do not give a shit.
Alright, so
not my fucking problem. Bring the baby with you. They'll have fun.
That's a thing too, though. Like, because it's crazy. Because like my cousin, he's been diagnosed with something, you know, caused by one of his deployments or whatever, and they're still trying to force him to go on another one.
Right.
And I'm like, this is nuts, man.
Right.
And you know, and I'm afraid because you know, I don't know, man. That's what's like when you know when that mental stuff starts coming in, and you see some shit you can't unsee or something, man. Like, you know, that has me worried about him now.
That's something that kind of scares me, because you know, I've been talking to my wife. If something happens to me, you know, physically, you know, as long as my brain's intact, I can figure out how to do it. If I lose my limbs or I'm paralyzed or whatever, damn it, I'm still me. I'll figure something out. But if I'm a vegetable, I'm gone. Like me losing my mind is the scariest thing. I'm not even afraid of death, but I'm afraid of losing my actual self. You know, like that's a terrifying proposition that I don't, you know, I wouldn't want to accept. You know, like, and I know some people who've gone to war and who have PTSD. You know what I'm saying? You know, I can't imagine just thinking like there's certain parts of you can't be in control of. Like, I'm dyslexic, and I already hate that much. I can't imagine having PTSD, schizophrenia, being bipolar, anything like that. You know, any major disorder like dyslexia is just frustrating.
That you can just fix. You know what I'm saying? You can't put a brace on your mind. You can't put a brace on your consciousness. You can't, you know.
Right.
Download my mind to the mainframe.
It's not Altered Carbon.
Put my brain on the
Anthony
internet.
Mackie.
Yeah.
Man, I can't stand. I don't know what it is about Anthony Mackie, but I cannot stand Anthony Mackie. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, the funny
he
thing
grew on me. I didn't like him at first, but now I do.
I'm not the biggest fan of Mackie, but for some reason he was really good in The Banker. I will say that, and he was good in The Banker. I like him in that.
Because they put him in Altered Carbon. I mean, granted, Altered Carbon is pretty. You know, it was pretty much just softcore porn. But I mean, I enjoyed it. You know what I'm saying? Like it was all the stuff that any 16-year-old boy would, you know, enjoy Altered Carbon. But now with the second season with Anthony Mackie, I feel like he's ruined it. Well, not that he's ruined it, but he's just not. I don't know.
Yeah,
he's Anthony Mackie.
You know what I mean? I went back here and I turned to the left. I never turned to the right. But yeah, Anthony Mackie, he's alright in certain roles, but I'm not the biggest fan of him. I didn't mind him as Falcon because I mean he fit fine in the whole MCU thing.
Yeah,
but like you know,
yeah, I can't fuck. I can't be anybody.
That's the thing. He didn't hurt the role. He didn't make it, but he didn't hurt it.
Secondary.
You know they should have done? They should have put him in that Star Wars movie, man, which I think is trash. I just watched that like a couple of days ago. I'm not sure why people are fans of Star Wars. Yeah. I am not sure why.
My theory is the Star Wars people are in love with the lore and the idea and potential of it, but not the actual movies. The actual movies are not.
They love the fact that there are no black people.
Maybe that's what it is.
There's like very few.
Calrissian is a blackest
very
man.
Few.
Lando Calrissian and Mace Windu, the only two black people in the whole universe.
That is
the whole universe, only two black people.
No, that's Finn.
They're
Don't
comfortable with that. And that's fine. That's all you need.
You got three.
That's why I was like, they should just put Anthony Mackie in there, man. I was like, all right, well.
They got mad when they realized all stormtroopers, when all the stormtroopers were black.
This shit kills me. Yo, this shit kills me. And of course, Finn, you know what I'm saying? And they have, I forgot what his name is.
John Boyega.
Yeah, John Boyega, who's a really good actor. In the entire movie, only thing he's doing is chasing white pussy the whole time. This bitch don't even want him. Like, she don't even want him. You know what I'm saying? Like, but he's still. Where's Ray? Where's Ray? The whole fucking movie, this motherfucker is worrying about Ray.
You know what would have made Finn infinitely more interesting? If they would have had him developing some sort of like relationship with Poe.
That's what I thought was supposed to happen.
That's what you thought. I honestly thought it was turning into some sort of bromance or whatever.
He didn't want Poe. He wanted Ray.
No. That's what I'm saying. It would have been way more interesting if he did one. If he would have like fallen for Poe or something, that would have been way more interesting. Other than having chase Ray.
The writing on this shit was terrible. Like I feel like all the Star Wars movies, minus Rogue One, are terrible movies. Like they're just not good.
I don't like.
But it's just like I hate the premise of this. You finally you get a black character, but Finn chases this white woman the entire fucking movie, and this white woman she don't even want Finn. She's not even thinking about him. You know what I'm saying? And that's just like. I don't know.
Well, the thing is, George Lucas tried to tell us. He said that Star Wars is for the kids. He tried to tell us.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's for children. It's for babies.
This what kills me though.
It's for Tommy Loren. That's who Star Wars. That's who should be watching this. That's who they make it for.
Well, this is the thing that kills me is like how that you get George Lucas up out of there. You know what I'm saying? After the first couple, you get him up out. He ain't there no more. Mm-hmm. But you basically play it super safe with these 3 new movies, and you basically remade the first 3. That's basically what they did. They didn't take any chances. It was super safe, and they weren't good. Like I didn't even watch the most recent one because the Force Awakens and what was the very first one? The Force Awakens, right?
Yeah, the Force Awakens. I think
that one was okay. The Last Jedi stunk. I did not like that one. Or whichever the second one was when I think
it was The Last Jedi, because this one was Return of Skywalker or something.
So the Last Jedi was poop. Like it was, I won't say it's poop, but it was, even for Star Wars quality, it wasn't good. You know what I'm saying?
It was such trash, man. I just don't get. The movie ended, and I was like, I got up and I was like, oh my god, it's wasted 2 hours. This was one of the dumbest movies I've ever seen.
I didn't like it. Yeah, I couldn't. Like after Force Awakens, I just couldn't bring myself to watch it.
It's terrible. Don't even. Yeah. I mean, it's not even like I couldn't even laugh at anything in the movie.
You have to see it because you have to finish the story. But
I mean, that's the only reason. That's the only reason I watched it.
I've had it spoiled for me purposely. I listened to a spoiler review of it, and I was like, "This sounds awful."
Yeah, it was awful.
I don't understand why they ruined I hate what they did. I really hate who they brought back and what they ruined in this shit.
Because they were trying to be too safe, man.
Luke. Yeah, man, it's so stupid.
Honestly, the thing is, the problem was as soon as they tied these 3 movies back to the original cast, that's when I knew that's when I knew I wasn't going to be interested.
Yo, I didn't even know Mark was dead. I just ran past a body and I was like, holy shit, that's Mark. I just ran past a body.
I was looking for a lifeless body. I didn't even find it.
He's in the middle of this crosswalk. What the fuck?
He said, you know where I'm at.
Dead, I know dead. In heaven, that's where you are. This thing was out here in purgatory, like, shit. Oh my gosh, man.
Speaking of, what the? So what's
I couldn't tell you where I was. That's the problem. I really couldn't say. That's all I had.
And the thing is, like, I wasn't even paying attention to nothing. I was literally just walking around. Just walking around. Oh my gosh. Yo, it just seems like Mark's body just falling out on the crosswalk. Oh my god. Oh my gosh. Yo, Mark, if it didn't have Pistol King above it, I wouldn't have.
I would have never known. I would have had no idea.
Oh man.
Good times, guys. Good times.
I don't know what happened to my motivation to play Division. Like, I don't know what happened. I don't know if it's this coronavirus thing or what, but
it's the hamster wheel, man.
Oh my gosh. Like, I'm just so unenthusiastic about playing this game. Like, I don't even care. I don't even care.
Oh man. No,
We're doing great though.
I mean,
doing a great job.
The little manhunt thing kind of helped enough. For the most part, yeah, I'm kind of falling back. Like,
but
you know,
I was so excited. Like, before the update came out, I was like, man, I can't wait till this update comes out. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was like 2 weeks in, I'm like, man, I don't want to play this shit no more. Like, I felt
like the
Wade.
same thing, probably.
Yeah, it's weird because Wade was the one saying he was going to take a break. And I'm the one that left.
Well, I got laid off and I didn't have shit else to do.
Yeah.
That's
well, there you go.
That's probably why. Okay.
Well, there we are.
I didn't have literally shit else to do.
On that one, man.
Yeah, I was like, when did you and Jay Smooth become BFFs? I was like, what the fuck?
We're not BFFs.
This up
I was trying
here
to get you into playing with me. We're not BFFs.
I can't do it.
Hey man, yeah, Jay Smooth asked about you though. He's like, man, how you doing? He doing alright?
Yeah, like
okay.
it was like sincere. Like he was.
Yeah, for real. He was like, I hope he's doing good. I was like, hey, he took a little break.
I like Smooth. I like Smooth.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
I just don't feel like playing Division, man.
Yeah.
You know, we can switch to Path of Exiles or something. Switch to something.
Yeah, I definitely want to find another game because you know I went and stopped playing PlayStation for a while. I've been on Xbox for like 2 weeks.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't know you was done.
I put on my PC for like 2 weeks. That's what I did. I was on my PC.
Wait, so I played The Sims. I was like, The Sims?
Yeah.
I
played The Sims 4. I tried to make a whole new life. I was like, I'm going to go outside and everything on The Sims since I can't go outside now. And I gave up.
I'm going to teach my person a new skill. The Sims.
Oh, I got tired of sitting in front of my PlayStation and falling asleep, so I went on my PC. That's what that was.
The Sims used to be fire though. Back on the first one, maybe the second one, but then they went off the rails.
I always said my whole life, I was like, man, Sims is the game for people who don't have a life. And then I was playing the other day. I was like, I can't leave the house. I can't do nothing.
The irony.
I Sims up.
All I saw was El Chief and Sims 4, and I was like, what?
Yeah, I was like, I didn't know you had this. I was like, I thought it was my wife playing it for a second.
Right. I was like, Bryson must be playing right now or something. I was like, I know that's not Wade.
I was ready to start my new life, man. My new life. It's getting started.
I thought you had some B&B guests, some Airbnb guests at your house or something. I ain't know
trying to make the extra money.
I've never seen Wade play The Sims ever.
Never. Never. I didn't know you owned it.
Nothing even close to The Sims.
Yo,
honestly, combat.
Honestly,
I did not know Mark like fucking flight
I was gonna text you, Wade, like, did someone steal your PlayStation?
Right. I should have came on there and be like, you better return that PlayStation, whoever you are.
I was like, I hate my life. I'm about to start a new life.
You know what's funny though? I'm not even gonna lie. Like when I saw you on Sims 4, I was like, man, it must be pretty good. I might want to try it out myself. And I had to slap myself back in reality. I was like, what you thinking?
The fucking Sims.
Yeah. This game came out in 2007. What you doing right now?
You want this shit?
Yo, I did not even get through the creator character, yo. Like, yo, it was so in depth. I was like, yo, you could change the cheekbones, the chin bones.
I'm gonna confess. I'm not gonna lie. Over the past week, I've been watching people play Animal Crossing. I was like, yo, this is definitely a game for me. Yo, I went out, bought a Switch, I bought Animal Crossing. Yo, as soon as I turned that bitch on, 5 minutes in, I was asleep. I was like, God damn it! I don't know why I do this. And then, like, just to pull it back, you know, to the beginning of our conversation when we were talking about these companies and we're giving them our money for stuff and they're doing whatever the fuck they want. My dumb ass going to buy a whole new system just to play Animal Crossing and fall asleep on it.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie, I was about ready to buy a VR headset, but I couldn't. I was gonna get this VR headset. I was like, I want to play this Half-Life. I want to play this damn Boneworks. I want to damn play all this shit. I was like, man, I need a VR headset. I was like, but I can't do it right now because my money's funny.
But this is
my job is
well, I mean, you had your brother-in-law build you a whole gaming computer. That you never gamed on.
I know. I was ready to go, man. I was like, man, I need to get this. Really use this VR headset right now. I was like, I need to be in the house with this VR headset. Man.
I thought about that too. I thought about getting one too. I was like, nah, I don't know. I mean, because I
just got an exotic.
Remember when I went back and rented an Oculus Rift?
Oh, nice. I just got a Costas Go Bag too. We both got it.
Man, I ain't getting nothing.
Go bag.
Get that Go Bag to Ed.
Ed, you can have this one.
I'll take it.
You want an exotic?
Yeah.
Oh, you got to start playing with us again.
You gotta be our friend.
Now you gotta think about that.
You gotta be our friend.
Man, I don't want that damn exotic, man.
Keep your bag. I'm sure if all three of y'all got it, I'm sure it'll drop for me at some point. Fucking just give it to him.
Just give him, man. I gotta tell you,
Ed, come back.
Where you at?
That's right.
Word.
Wade tried to scam me for some gloves I got. He was like, "Hey man, if you want me to save your life, boy, give me some gloves first."
He got some gloves. I've been looking for these gloves like a month, boy. He got them. I was like, man, are you really gonna use them gloves? And he was like, let me check them out. Let me see. I did give him exotic though. I did give him an exotic, so you know.
You did give him the Go Bag. He was like, I looked at it, I was like, man, I don't know. These gloves got they got perfect weapon armor damage on here. I might want them. He's like, man, I've been trying to get gloves for months.
It wasn't even exotic gloves. It was name gloves that I've been looking for. But I gave him an exotic, so you know. So it worked.
Which you already have. I ain't have it.
But yo, I saw your boy Nothing But Skills. He switched over to Modern Warfare. I was like, wait a minute. I mean, he might be done on Division. I don't know.
Yeah, he played. No, he played more than one. He played more than Division.
Okay. But I mean, I've only seen his videos for Division though. I've never even seen.
He got videos for other games that he plays.
Just in case anybody was wondering, man, this is not a sponsored podcast for Nothing But Skills. He did not pay me to say his name at all. I don't know him at all. So, we are not affiliated in any way.
Any shape or form.
We are sponsors, co-sponsors. Matter of fact, we are sponsored by COVID-19 and hard times. That's all we're sponsored by right now.
In fact, I feel like the way I've been running my mouth in this podcast, if we were sponsored, we would have lost that shit. So,
you're right.
We can talk about Trump every 2 seconds.
Everybody was thinking about sponsoring us. We lost that.
That's over.
We were going to be sponsored by Reebok, but they heard what we were talking about.
Right. It'd be funny if Reebok did want to. Why the fuck would Reebok want to sponsor?
Hey man, Reebok need a sponsor who they can get. You know what I'm saying? They
yeah,
need all the influencers.
I'm about to say Reebok probably giving away sponsors. Who the fuck is wearing Reebok?
We probably need to go out for Fila or something like that, or Fubu or something.
This podcast is sponsored by Fubu.
For us, by us.
We are sponsored by Fubu.
Back on the map, baby.
Fubu and Sean John. Fubu and Sean John.
And we're about to be sponsored by Averex.
Baby, give us a call. Averex and Pele.
Averex, Pele, and Apple Bottom.
Rockaware.
Yeah, Rockaware.
Yo, I really thought this dude next to me was one of y'all. I'm tripping.
What did y'all think about that Jordan Lucas album, though?
I haven't listened to it yet.
I like it. I don't know why you can't listen to the whole album up there.
I know. You used
Google
to be able to. Yesterday I could.
I bet you he's
yesterday I could. Today
he must have an issue with Spotify. Oh shit.
Yeah, he's probably trying to work it out. I don't know what's going on, but yeah, I was playing the whole album for like 2 weeks.
Right.
How did you like it? Because so far I haven't had a favorite.
He had up there from like Chris Tucker and Kevin Hart. I did like those.
Oh, yeah. I will say though that one of the few songs I listened to was that Will track. I like the video. The song
I like that too.
Kind of whack, you know, because he had some really bad lines in there.
At least I think I like that.
I like the song.
He's talking about he was like Fresh Prince or something like that.
Yeah,
Will Smith was his idol.
Yeah, I was okay with that.
No, I like the idea of the song, but man, it was like some of the lines, like his Wild Wild West line, a couple other lines, like, ooh, that's like some of his lines.
I do feel like, you know, he probably was reaching just so he could fit the movie titles in the verses. You know
definitely.
But didn't that the ADHD song sound kind of like Juice WRLD though? Is it like a homage to Juice WRLD? Or?
Yeah, where's the other thing? Where's the other panel at?
I'm not sure. I don't listen to a whole bunch of Juice.
I mean, I didn't either. I only listened to like one or two songs of Juice WRLD, but it sounded close to what Juice WRLD used to sound like. It almost sounded like he ripped his style completely.
Oh,
yeah. I don't know why this thing.
Did you shoot that panel mark?
Hold on, there's a panel over here.
I got it.
Oh, it was on this side.
Yeah. I just realized what we were looking for. I didn't know what we were looking for.
The bottom of the top.
I did like that I Lied song, though. I like that song, too.
I Lied, yeah. I'll have to go back and listen to it.
You're doing really great.
I want to listen to like a couple tracks. Because honestly, so far 2020 has been kind of underwhelming. That Thundercat slaps, though. I like that joint.
Oh, yeah, I need to listen to that Thundercat.
Yeah, I need to listen to that, too.
Yeah, Thundercat,
I'm fucking with that Thundercat.
It's alright.
Adrian,
I do enjoy it.
You hit me with an action, mother. Adrian Young put out a joint that I like, called Produced by Adrian. It's pretty good. It's kind of short.
I told you that M was my favorite album of the year so far. I just
You like it better than Lucas, or you haven't listened to the whole thing?
I like it better than Lucas. Yep.
Oh, that Eminem, it was better than his last ones, but I don't know. I don't hate it, but I'm not really digging it either.
For some reason, I feel like that Eminem, and not that I mean listen to the whole thing, I can't get to the whole thing, but it kind of reminds me of like Lil Wayne's album.
Oh, that Lil Wayne was trash.
Wasn't a fan of that, but one of my favorite songs of the year is
Mahogany. Yeah, Mahogany is dope. The rest of it, that's the only good track.
No, but Mahogany. Did Manny Fresh produce that track?
Yep.
Or who did that?
Yeah.
This is what I'm gonna say. I like Manny Fresh.
Yes.
But fuck anything that Lil Wayne was saying on that song and that album.
Yeah, what he was talking, it was pretty bad. It was pretty bad.
Cause clearly, like, he just went in there and just started rhyming. Like, I feel like he was just looking at shit and he was just rhyming it. Like, if it was like a chair in the room, he'd be like, I mean, I don't know, man. Like, it just.
He'd be like mahogany chair.
Yeah, like. Oh my god, man. Like, he.
That's my tip. That's like one of my favorite songs of this year, though. Mahogany.
She's like right over here.
Like, they should go ahead and put, like, you can put Royce on that Mahogany.
Hey,
I was listening to, like, some old, like, freestyle shit from with Eminem and all that stuff. That's all I was like, I have, Eminem lyrics is dope, no doubt. But I just don't care for his, the content he's talking about. And it's also weird because, like, you know, like when Eminem was at like the music awards or something, and he was talking about Trump. And it's kind of weird because, like, you be like, all right, you know, he's saying some intelligent shit, and you know, and it's, you know, it's. I don't know, man. I like what basically what I'm saying is, like, in the old freestyles, you know, Eminem was like, you know, I'll grab my dick in my balls, and you know, then I was like, I'll make my balls suck my dick. I was like, yo, that's the Eminem I like. That's the nigga I like right there. I like that Eminem. I like the crazy, wild, fucking, I'm on drugs Eminem. Yeah, I like that Eminem.
You don't want the I'm a dad now Eminem.
Yeah, I don't like that. I'm a grow a fucked up beard Eminem. I don't like that shit.
I cringe when people say I like the drugged out Eminem better.
Well, most people do. Most people do.
That's true.
I'm just saying, I like to, you know, lyrically, like, I like that crazy stuff. I mean, he doesn't have to be drugged out or anything, but I feel like he just had more imagination. He was having more fun. You know, he wasn't being hindered, or, you know, I feel like he's kind of, I'm not going to say reserved nowadays, but he just has nothing to talk about, because Eminem's never been like the political expert or, you know, anything like that. He's just been the crazy white guy that grew up fucked up. You know, he had a fucked up, you know, upbringing, and he complained about this shit. That's what I liked about it. You know, putting his girlfriend in the trunk of his car and shit. I like that shit better. Stan, you know what I'm saying? Like, I like that Eminem better. Well, I guess because he's more interesting, unfortunately. It's kind of, you know, it's kind of like when, like, you know, you got like a fat comedian who does a lot of body humor, and then they lose weight. And they be like, how come I'm not funny no more? Well, you're not fat anymore, so I can't laugh at you. Great that your life's better, but you need to get a new job.
Kind of like when, what's his name, Will Sasso had lost weight.
Right.
Yeah. I like
Mad TV when that motherfucker lost weight. Mad TV, I was like, God damn.
She about to blow up.
Yeah.
Ooh. There you go.
That was like, I feel like the way she died, this should have been like a 70s blaxploitation or something. She dropped a purple backpack.
Well, look, you already got an exotic. Don't ask
you
for
got
no
an
more.
exotic
I didn't get an exotic.
Boy,
Somebody gave me one of
the
their exotics. I never got one.
Welcome back. Good way to say welcome back.
Damn it, Wade, you got one more kill than I did, boy.
Ooh,
but I did way more damage.
I don't think I killed anything.
I did great.
You got 41 kills, dude.
It must have been like support kills. I must have been coming up like y'all get their life all the way down. I just shoot them in the back of the head. That must have been what happened on there.
Yeah, you definitely did. Yeah, you did way more damage than I did.
Yeah.
But I killed one more person than you did. So
this now you killed one more person than me. But this this has been going. This episode seems to be going pretty long because we've been going for a while. So we're going to continue offline. We appreciate whoever's been listening in. This has been the Gamerside Chat, episode 5.
For our rants and,
nice. I kind of cringe at this episode. I feel like I was angry black man.
Every once in a while, look, you got to get it out sometimes. Everybody has a rant that got to get out at least once in a while. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And today was your day, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I've gotten up here on the PlayStation a couple times where I looked at the app and I saw you guys were up here, and I've gotten up here just to complain about stuff, and then y'all not up here, and then like I give y'all 2 minutes to send me a damn party invite, and then I just get off. I'm like,
I hope you're not talking about yesterday because you were offline yesterday.
No, I wasn't off.
Yeah,
I wasn't
offline.
Was I? Yeah, I got on. I got on.
When? Because on our friends list.
Offline though, like were you hiding?
No.
No. I wasn't offline. Like I got on, and then like you guys weren't like I got no party invite, so I just bought Final Fantasy 7 and got off.
Yesterday, when Wade and I were playing, your name was not on our friends list as online.
Oh.
Yeah.
And we saw you show up in the division list, and I was like, but it didn't have any.
Like, that's weird. And then we was like, is he online? Still we?
Oh. Yeah, because y'all didn't send me a party invite, so I thought you guys were just away from your computers or something.
No, I thought you were just like,
here, but I think you were like in offline mode or something.
Yeah,
because the only way we saw you was because it said.
That's weird though. That's
weird.
Yeah,
because your name was not on the main place. We couldn't send you a party invite.
I even checked before I got off. I was like, maybe I'm offline. Maybe that's why but it was on online, and I was like, well, maybe they're just not up here. And I just got off.
Well, that's weird. Huh. Yeah, stranger things that happen. You know how PSN does, but Either way, we want to wrap this up.
Play with us.
That's what it really was. He just trying to make us feel better.
I sent him a text saying to get on too. I figured. I know I did.
Yeah, I was tired though because I saw that one. I was just tired. I just went to sleep when I got back.
All right, listeners. We appreciate y'all. We out of here.
This.